home, I'm coming home. Tell the world I'm coming.
Good morning, Hebrew Nation. I hope I'm finding you blessed in the name of Yah. So let's go to court. The judge, the Holy One of Israel, is always going to be on the bench in any court that I'm at. So you can trust that everything that is said here is the truth and nothing but. Today, I'm calling the princes of Yahudah. He said, I want this to be just for them. And I didn't even have to ask why, because I already know why. Because Yahudah is the tribe that King David came from. And that tribe is very special to Yahuwah. And so I'm calling all the princes of Yahudah to this court hearing right here. Because what you get here will be so much different than what you've experienced in this land with the courts, the judges, the prosecutors, the same people from Babylon that tripped up Daniel. But it backfired. We all know that. In my courtroom, when you leave here, you will have weapons of spiritual form that with obedience to the way he tells us to fight, Hebrew style, we don't fight in the physical, we're more powerful in the spiritual. We have so many spiritual gifts it would blow your fucking mind. In this courtroom, you're going to get fed so that you can guide through this world in his laws, because Yahudah is going to take over. Did you hear what I said? Princes of Yahudah will rule this land in the New World Order. Do you understand me? They're lying to you, and I'm going to prove it to you today. I need to tell you who you are and what Yahuwah said. Now, where you choose to go with it, that is totally on you, because free will is very important to Father. It's very important. So whatever you do with this, it's on you. I just, as your sister, want to bring you evidence, not only to who you are, how special you are to him, but how you can glide through this life with him, blessed, rich, above everyone else. We're not supposed to be equal with anyone but the tribes of Israel. It was never meant to be that way. And because we came out of the laws, we ended up not only them saying that we're equal to them, but we were beneath them. And they never let us forget it. But again, it's because we came out of the laws. Our ancestors, our fathers and our mothers. So this is a court hearing to the calling of the princes of Yahudah, because you'll not only be over the 12 tribes, you'll be over every nation in this fucking earth. That's who you are. You are princes. And the brother that started our tribe, his name was Yahudah. He was the son of Jacob, who was renamed Israel. That's why we're the real Israel. Do you understand how powerful you are? Do you understand how gifted you are? I'm going to show you. Because the next few videos are going to be just for you. Yes, what I say will work for any child of the Most High. But this is especially, particularly for the tribe and the princes of Yahudah. Now, as I said, this court hearing will be so much different from what you've ever experienced if you're a brother and you've been in the court system down here. I'm a sister. I've experienced it, and I've never broke the law. That's going to be very different, and you can count on 3 things. Number 1, your Father, your Creator, the Holy One of Israel, is on the bench and no one else, and He is over every fucking judge in this earth. He's over every strong man in this earth. And a strong man that He's talking about is someone that has access to the laws, your freedom, and your physical being. That's what a strong man is. And we know that the laws are manipulated. Other countries talk about, get on YouTube. Other countries talk about our authorities in this country. They know Yahudah. They know. In fact, they're all sending out a warning to anyone that wants to travel to the United States today. That number 1, there are random shootings. Very unsafe. And that our authorities and police department randomly shoot people. And when I saw that video last night, I went down and started looking at the comments that were left, and they're all coming from outside of the country. They know what we live under here. But you don't have to, because don't forget, Father created evil and wickedness to use on the heathens that want to serve idols. And what is an idol god? It stands fucking still. It can't even defend itself, so how could it possibly defend you? It is an idol. And we know that because JC has idols all over the place. And I believe that that's the way, that's the reason that Father never let anyone see Him. Not only because our bodies probably couldn't stand it, because His glory is so great. Moshe told you that. But because you could never make an idol of Him and set it with dead gods that don't even exist, that have no power. They have an eye, they have a mouth and ears and a nose. They cannot smell, they cannot see, they cannot speak, they cannot hear. They cannot even move. They are idol gods. So I believe that's why Father never ever let Himself be seen, so you couldn't sit with that abomination that our people serve and give their life to, their money to, their children to. Yahudah, listen to me. He is on the bench. And He is real. And I'm about to bring you up out of this. Just trust me and stay with me. Number 2, I'm only coming as your sister. I'm coming as Deborah. That's all I can do. And His witness, His daughter, His ambassador, His prophet. We're just bruh and sister. That's it. That's all. And the 3rd one that you can fucking count on is every word that proceedeth out of my mouth will be the truth. And nothing but the truth. And I plan to use it against them in this court of law with evidence of everything I say. When you leave my courtroom, you're going to walk like princes. See, let me tell you something. I was a single mother. I had to be daddy and mama. I didn't have a problem with that. Because I knew that my children were special. I didn't know why, but I knew that we were special. And we couldn't do what everyone else does. And so I would get all the neighborhood children that I could get. And I would teach them, don't ever let them get a piece of paper on you, because it'll be a chain around your neck that they will use for the rest of your life. Number 1, I told them, obey your mom and your dad. Whatever they say, stay into line with it. Don't ever disrespect them, because that's a curse from Him. Obey them and love them and respect them, because they're precious. We don't throw them away like Esau does. And number 3, I was going to count this down. So there was 3 things that I was pushing. Hot fries and blue raspberry slushies. Because we have hot summers here, and I would see the neighborhood kids sitting on the corner. I'd be walking down to Rickers just to get, something for myself, and I would see them sitting there. Oh, I know if anybody's listening from my community, they'll contest that I'm telling you the truth. I'd be like, what are you guys doing? Oh, nothing, Miss Cheyenne. Okay, well, stay here. I'm going to go to Rickers. I'm going to bring you back a surprise, okay? So they would sit there and wait for me to walk down there and come all the way back. And I would spend the money that I had for myself on them. And I would get them hot fries and blue raspberry slushies. And then the third thing, I was pushing the Father. I knew we had to pray in the name of Jesus. At least that's what I was taught, conditioned, and programmed to believe. In other words, I was putting another name before the Father's name. That was the trick of it. You can't get to the Father without coming through me. Really? That's a lie. Shut your fucking mouth. I can go to him all by myself with my name. I speak his first, and he listens every time. So I pushed the Father in doing what was right in JC. Well, I have to fix that today. But Yah said, I want you to say it to all the princes of Yahudah, because they will be in charge over this whole earth. They need to know who they are, first off. I said, let's do it. So this is going to be a courtroom where I'm going to bring you the truth. I have some scriptures that I want you to look up. These are the ones that he gave me. And they will blow your mind, and they will cover everything that I'm about to say to you. They will back it up. They will co-sign. They will harmonize with one another. And it's all in Psalms. One of my favorite books, because it taught me how to pray to the Most High. We're not supposed to love our enemy, because Yah doesn't. But that's a lie we were told. And the law of an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, and it even goes deeper than that if you look it up in the Old Testament. A soul for a soul. Let me tell you something. He covered it all. That is very much an active law for us, because we're set apart from them. That's not our government. Yahudah is our government, the Holy One of Israel. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Not some idol god that can't even move. So these are the ones I want you to look up. And this is going to teach you how to pray. And it will change your whole fucking life. Psalms 5 through 6. Psalms 11 and 5. Psalms 26, 5. And Psalms 31, 6. And Psalms 91 and Psalms 18. And let me tell you something. If you're ever dealing with a court, an authority, an officer in any kind of form, when I get done with you today, you will know exactly how to shut that shit down. You run to Father. So let me slow down, because I don't want to get ahead of myself. Okay. I want you to go study those. And whenever you have a problem, I want you to go to your kitchen like we do, surround the table, bring every family member that you can get, and pray out to Yahudah. Psalms 18 is going to blow your fucking mind, which is why they never touched it. And Psalms 91. But I want you to read it. I think the best form I've ever, where it's so understandable, and I use it to this day, is the False Jews Bible. Go get the complete Jewish writing of it. That way you can get an understanding, because it is unbelievable what he's promising you. And this is why David prayed like this. I'm going to give you weapons to use today of spiritual form that you will not believe. You have to study those. And you do what I say on those, on 18 and 91, and whatever is going on, you'll see it fall. You will see him bust its teeth out and lay it on its back. I'm telling you. And I'm going to tell you some stories. I got backup. I got life proof. I'm just telling you. You want to see some shit drop? Have a problem or what he calls mischief. Because he said, I didn't send it. But I allowed it so that you can see my power and watch me crush it right in your face. To show you that I'll watch over you. So let's move on. Today, you have a choice, princes of Yahudah. You have a choice to stay in that or come home. And I'm going to tell you, you're coming home. That's what this hearing's about. He loves you so much, he's giving you a way out. And it's so simple. But they went to great lengths and money to keep it covered. And the Christian pastors work right along with them. That's why they keep you out of this. I'm convinced that they know. But they don't want to lose their livelihood. They don't want you to stop paying for their bills and putting food on their table. And they do absolutely fucking nothing for you. And I want to give you a wisdom key right now. The Most High said that even when you prayed in the name of that idol God, Jesus, it was me that brought you through what you were going through. Every time. I even controlled what you were going through so that you would ask for help, so that I could save you. I'm here to tell you that the name of JC can't do fucking shit. I've used it to try to save lives. I've used it to try to cure cancer and all other curses that come from not being in the law and having his covering. I've used it over everything and not one fucking thing changed until I stopped using it and went straight to the Father. And this was before I was awake. I knew there was something wrong with this shit. It doesn't do anything. Do you understand me? It's been him that's been pulling you through, keeping you safe. Because he all along knew who you were, even when you didn't. All right. Let's move on. You have to study those. And I'm going to say something before I move on to this next thing. When you petition, you pray, petition, thanksgiving, I'm giving you weapons that you're going to see results from. They want you defenseless over there and at your pastor's mercy. Fuck that shit. We going to fight Hebrew style. Because we have Yahudah and we are warriors. We are not pets anymore. We fight Hebrew style. And that's in the spirit, not in the physical. So you pray, you petition, you thank him before you see him do a thing. And then you go to your kitchen and you surround that table and turn it into a courtroom. And then bring to his remembrance with Psalms 18 and 91. Pray it out loud to him and thank him for everything he's going to do. And you're going to watch that shit fall. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? With anything. Because that's how we are to fight. So you have to pick between two things. In Ezekiel 21, 23 through 25, the law is this, that it is an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Whatever you do to a Hebrew, it's going to come back on your head 100-fold with the demons that the sender tried to send. Do you understand? Mischief. Any kind of mischief, the devils are at work. Y'all's aware of it. He sent them. He's got control of it. But it all works together for the good that love Yahudah. And right now you're in witchcraft. Because their idol god, Esau, Europe's idol god, Jesus, and the Queen of Heaven, Mary, say, word for word, this is what Jesus said. Now, I know that you've been taught, they cut out by the Father, that it's an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, because wickedness is as wickedness does. Father said, you get back what you put out, only there's going to be a fold on it for a punishment. But Jesus said, I tell you to love your fucking enemy. Right there, his total disregard for the law. And he said he didn't come to change the law. Shut it up. Shut it up. That's changing the law. Because when you do it his way, you become the footstool to your enemies. You become their dogs with a chain around your neck and your feet and your hands, and you're in a cage. That's exactly what it means, because you walked away from an eye for an eye. Is this making sense to you? Why would you love your enemies if Yahudah doesn't? And he said, your enemies are mine. Why would you love your enemies if David asked Yahudah to bring them to death? Anything that doesn't love you, wipe that ass from this earth. Why would JC tell you that? So you can be as you have been. Princes who are pets. Remember, he said, because you came out of the laws and you did this to me, even though I was blessing you, I let my own people be put to shame. Then let me get this clear. It's all going to come back home on them, because the law is the law, an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. That is why they'll be handmaidens and servants to the house of Hebrew nation, Israel, the real one, when this is over. Yah will not forget, and he's going to recompense them. But the only reason they can touch you is because you're over there. Let me tell you something. I have never in my fucking life, nor have I raised my children to believe. Listen, if somebody slaps you in your face, you give them the other one too. So if they slap you in your cheek, mommy wants you to give them the other one. Fuck no. I don't think so. No. I never lived by that law over there. Never. Because I'm going to tell you something. You slap our cheek, we're not giving you the other one. But you will grab your ass and catch a handful of teeth, because we are Hebrews. No, we will defend ourselves. Thank you very much. And put paws on you. Simple as that. We were never meant to flip a cheek. Never taught it to my kids. Ever. And it's because it's a law that he already programmed me with in the womb. I wrote my word across your heart so that when you wake up, you'll know it all. It'll be easy for you. It's an eye for an eye. And I think that's a beautiful thing to wake up to. That you don't have to love your fucking enemy. And you're not supposed to go and earnestly pray for him. We know that now. Because he told Ezra, don't pray to me for them. And others. David never did. So that's a wisdom key today. It's also a piece of evidence. I'd like to enter that right now. So how do you fight? How do you deal with this world, its government, its authorities in your community, in your life. How do you do that, Yahudah? If you don't do it physically, I'm going to show you how to do it. That's going to be more powerful than what you could ever do in the physical form right now. And you will shut the shit down. But you had to understand that it's still an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, all the way. Let's go to the next one, now that we understand. Now you got a side to pick there. So you know that Yah's side is different? No, you slap me in the face, I'm going to bust your ass. And you know that Jesus says, you slap me in my face, I'm going to kiss your ass. So you got a side to pick there. Should be very easy for you. But I'm going to move on. First of all, Yahudah said that vengeance is mine. I'm the one that is going to bring revenge and anger on your situation. But you have some things you need to do to unlock that. And this is what they are. First of all, you have to understand that you have to be still for a minute. And that you have to have nothing but trust and confidence in Him. And most of you have already been praying to Him. It's just you put all that in with it and you're not going to get shit. It's like plugging a light into a house that doesn't have electricity. Oh, you're going to have some lights tonight. Oh, yes, you are. So first of all, you have to understand that you have to be still for a minute, which sometimes is difficult. You have to just trust and know that He's got you. He said, vengeance is mine. Period. So we give that to Him. But then there's the next step that you're going to fucking enjoy. You already know you pray, petition, thanksgiving. But guess what, my little brothers? You can also ask for the punishment as long as you stay still and do what He said and trust Him to bring the vengeance. Do you understand? So you've already done that. You know you're totally in line. You go to the Father. And I tell Him the situation. I know He's aware of it, but we're in court. Everybody needs to hear it. I tell Him the situation. And sometimes it just cleanses me getting it out of my chest and being able to talk to Him about it, even though He already knows. You tell Him what the situation is. And then you bring the law. You bring the law. Just like a wicked ass attorney or a wicked ass prosecutor or anyone else that is chosen to be wicked in this government system of the land. You act as His child because He sees them as heathens. And He also said they're nothing but spit on the ground to me. And when this is over and Babylon's day is done, I'm going to drag them to your feet, princes of Yahudah, on their knees. And I am going to make them confess with their own mouth that I have always loved you. But until that comes, let me deal with it. So you go to Him like them. Because when you come into these walls, baby, you no longer belong to that shit. When you come out of the Christian faith, you no longer belong to that. That means they don't own you anymore. You have come home to your Creator. And so all that bullshit has to stop. It has to be cut off because your free will chose Yah. Are you getting this? That's why it's so important to come out of it. while you still have liberty. You've been hoodwinked to who you are. Do you understand that there's not one fucking person outside of your tribe that is equal with you in the Most High's eyes? Do you fucking understand that? Do you understand how absolutely royal you are? That's why things are different over here for you. And like in the Passover, he tells you, be still, be full of joy. Oh, how blessed you are. And I'm not playing with you. Go to Psalms. Go to Exodus and read what he promised you if you honor his feasts. His Passover. That's a 12-month covenant, baby, of I'll whip your enemy's ass while I prosper you. Keep sickness from you. There'll be no more stillborns. You won't want to run the fucking streets. You want me to tell you why? Because you're going to know you're a prince. And you're going to know that you have fucking things coming. And you're going to walk the fucking line. Because if you don't, you're going to be out there just like you are now. In a FEMA camp. That's Jacob's trouble. And I know some of you know this, but some of you don't. The mark of the beast, 666, is JC. I know that's a blow, but I gotta give it to you like it fucking is. And as long as you're carrying that, you already have the mark of the fucking beast. There's already people taking the mark of the beast to buy and sell right now. Why do you think they're climbing up in that world? It ain't by Yahuwah's hand, so it has to be coming from them. They had to accept something over there. You better wake the fuck up. That's how you see all of our people on the bottom, and they go to the top so fucking quick in that world system. That faith. Because it's separate, it's set apart, it's holy from Yahuwah's system. You get blessings over here, you get power, you get covering, and you wear a robe and a crown, my love. And you move through this motherfucking world with power. Every place you put your fucking foot, you own it, he said. So if you go anywhere, all you have to do is say, I come in the Most High's name, Yah. And I own the ground that I'm standing on because I'm a Hebrew Israelite and I am in fucking covenant. You want to run the world? You better get your ass up out of that or you'll be going down with the world. I promise you that. And the second that you come out of it and do what I'm telling you to do, oh, you're going to love it. We're not even getting to the laws now because Yahuwah has to save your fucking life from being in that. Just like me. That causes sickness and disease. And they damaged me severely with childhood vaccinations. And then it was like blown up, the damage I already had with black mold poisoning. And look what they did to me. Oh, honey, my day is coming. But I have to be still right now until I heal. And that's already here, but I have to be still until I receive the direction from him. But let me tell you what's going on behind the scenes. When you do what I'm telling you to do, everything has to change in the spiritual realm. That forces the physical realm to be obedient. To sit there like a pretty little dog. Because that's what it is. I know it puffs itself up to be like a German Rot. But it's just a chihuahua. You know how I know? Because Yahuwah designed it for the heathen. You're not a heathen. You're royalty. You need to wake up to it. You need to push your fucking chest out, stand up, and take your place in this tribe. Because you're gonna rule over everyone. And if you're not fit to rule, you will not rule in Yahuwah's eyes. You can whip this world's ass just by your obedience to Yahuwah. Listen, let me tell you something, bruh. I know you know the story of Daniel and what King Nebuchadnezzar had to do. But this is what you don't know. I don't care how long this video is. If you want to live your life different, then you're going to listen to the fucking video, because I do the time studying for it to bring you life. So I'm just going to tell you what he gave me to tell you, no matter how long it takes. So let's go. So the prosecutors, the judges, the officers, let's see, every government office in Babylon conspired against Daniel. Why? Because he had the favor with the king. King loved him. Oh, Nebuchadnezzar loved him. Do you understand that? And so they wanted Daniel out of there. So they put together this petition. Get that? Petition to the king. Your petitions go straight to the king over all the kings and judges when you write to Yahudah in your petition. But listen to how important it is. So all of them, the same people you got dealing here in our community and and all the other cities in America, they conspired with one another. But I come to tell you that Yahudah hears all the conversation of the wicked and what they're conspiring against his child. They all got together and they were talking. And they said, well, let's do this. Let's write a petition. And then when Daniel goes to pray, we'll have the king's going to put this in the law. And the king cannot break his own law. So we're going to set this up. We're going to petition him to pass this law. You can't pray to any other god. And then, when we catch Daniel doing it, we are going to go to King Nebuchadnezzar and tell him he has to kill him. Poof, Daniel's out of the way. So that's exactly what they did. They petitioned King Nebuchadnezzar. King Nebuchadnezzar said, well, go ahead and sign that. Not realizing what was going on. But Yahudah had it designed that way, because he knew what he was going to do in the end. So they got the law passed and they caught Daniel praying. And so they ran to King Nebuchadnezzar and said, hey, you got to pass this law. I know you love him, but the people will have no respect for you if you don't honor your own law. See why Yah said he won't come out of his laws? Not even how much he loves you. He's not coming out of his laws. He is today, yesterday, the day before, ancient, all that. He's not changing. So he said, he broke your law. You have to throw him in the lion's den. King Nebuchadnezzar was so upset and so heartbroken because he loved Daniel. He loved him. But he had no choice. So they put him in the lion's den. And Daniel willingly went in. And Yahudah made those lions lay down like pets to him and even cuddle his head. Keep him warm. King Nebuchadnezzar couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't do anything. He kept going to the door. Daniel, you okay? Daniel, you okay? And Daniel would say, I'm okay, King. I'm okay. When that fucking sun came up in the morning, baby, King Nebuchadnezzar said, open that fucking door. And out came Daniel. And Yahudah himself set a decree that every prosecutor, every judge, every government person that was put over the law, I want you to go pick every one of their asses up. I want you to meet them in their family room. And I not only want you to grab and snatch these little bastards up, but I want you to get their wives. I want you to get their fucking children. I want you to get their maids, their handmaidens, everything that these fuckers own. I want you to gather that shit up. And I want you to, even the family dog, take it and put it in the den with the lions. Feed them. Did you hear what I said, bruh? Being still is the hardest thing. Especially when you can't see what's going on. But for some reason, he always brings you back word what's going on. Be still, baby. So he put him in the lion's den. They ate him and tore him to pieces. He opened up that door and sure enough, those lions were full and satisfied. And there was leftovers. And bones to clean their teeth on. You come home to your creator, and that's what they got coming, baby, because it ain't no different today. I'm a witness to it. Do you understand me? And what I went through is unresolved. Oh, we will sure enough come back to it. But this time I have to be able to stand and breathe. Because I was so sick it fucking killed me. And they got me back at the hospital. One of the things that the doctor told me is, he said, and most of you in my community know this, but if you don't, you'll hear about it. I'll update you. When I came out and came back, the doctor told me, you just about died. In 5 minutes, you would have been dead. Whatever you're dealing with, you have to let this go. You have to let this go. And I got this mask on my face, getting oxygen. I'll tell you one thing, I got the best fucking rest I've ever got in my life through that thing. I don't know how long I was gone, but I'm going to tell you something. I was resting like a, hey. When I came back, he told me that, and I told Yahudah, okay, I understand what you're telling me, it's time to rest. Because I stood up in court, was having a stroke. Went to the mayor's office, was fighting them. Had a stroke, couldn't breathe. From the black mold. They thought I smoked. Get the fuck out of here. If you can't tell the difference between that and cigarette smoke, there's something fucking wrong with you. But I never said a word. Yeah, I'm gonna quit smoking. Yep, I'm gonna, because I don't give them any information. But it made me see how awesome Yahudah was. So I rested for the last 2 years. And I already told you, I'm back to exercising, getting my shape. I'm physically getting there, honey, because I came back into the fucking law. So my situation is going to come to a head. The thing is, he's going to put the people in my life to do it. But he has to make sure that I can stand with the dignity that I deserve. Do you understand that? And I'm willing to let him do it. When you let him handle this situation, just because you don't know what's going on, and I mean following those fucking steps every fucking day till you see a change, not petitioning, you petition once. But every day you pull your ass to that table and you hold court. And you speak Psalms 18 and Psalms 91. Your petition's already at his feet. He wants your obedience. Not your begging and your crying. For fuck's sake, you are princes that are going to run this fucking world. This is a training ground for you. Do you understand me? You have to walk like royalty, and I'm telling you who you are. You already know who you are. African American, my fucking ass. You are Hebrew fucking princes. A tribe that the Most High fucking adores. And he's calling you and saying, I can change it all, but you got to walk out of that shit, because I'm going to destroy it. You know what I believe? I believe that is part of the captivity. And when you come into the laws, that's why I said you don't belong to this fucking government, United States, America. You don't belong to that fucking shit anymore. You belong to the Most High. And you are the head of the heathen. It is Hebrew law. Just like an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. And he will set you up with people that will walk you in there to do as Psalms 91 said, I have turned them like mud in the streets. But you have to sit while he sets it up for you. Because strong men need to be reminded of who he is. And that you don't touch what belongs to him. It is holy. And it is set apart from your bullshit and your wickedness. So what does that mean? Well, this is what it means. While you're sitting there being merry, content as a motherfucker, just cool, collected, doing your part, you are releasing actual demons at Yahuwah's hand. Let me say that again, because I know it's so different from over there. Let me say that shit again. When you do these things, in Psalms 18 he said, I ride on a keruv. I make the clouds my canopy, and I come in like a tornado, a whirling wind over your situation with armies. I told you the demons obey him because he owns them. They are pets right now. They are fallen angels. And they do his bidding. They do his dirty work, so to say. But when you're obedient like this, he sends those military angels in to stand about you and all your land and everything you love and own. And while you prosper, he's getting ready to tear that down. Now, I know this is hard to believe, and I know it's coming from a sister that you don't even fucking know. That's why he's on the bench. Because I'm not telling you nothing that he didn't have the scribes write and spoke himself. The second that we came into the laws, we did nothing but prosper. I am so blown away at everything that I told him. I said, I wish you would have brought me into it in my 20s, woke me up then. But I don't think I would have survived the shock of the lie. I already knew that we were in severe danger. I just knew it. But I don't think I would have survived it because my body was so sick from the vaccine damage, and then I moved into a house that had black mold, and that was even worse. But if you look at it, I was literally dead over there, but he brought me back to life when he brought me home because everything is better. I lined it all up, and it's just absolutely common sense, rightful living. Simple as that. And trusting only him. You don't trust no government. You don't get nothing. Don't get nothing from them, because then they have a part of your life. And you say, well, Cheyenne, what are you talking about? Let me tell you what I'm talking about. First of all, you're fucking princes. You don't have to rely on any fucking wicked government for anything. All you have to do is just be a son. And do what the Father's asking you to do, and that's to live a good life. Live a righteous life. And I'm going to bless you every step of the way for it. You're going to have so much fucking power, you're not going to know what to do with it. Or you're going to stay in a place that has nothing to offer because it's idle. And if you look up the word idle, it won't even tell you that it stands still. But we know that a statue stands still. It can do nothing for itself. But did you know that celebrity, pet, and those are also idols? They are the human form of it that they put there because they took the mark of the beast. Said, I'll be a part of your motherfucking system. And now they're slaves with a horrendous life. And they portray to you that it's all good. It's fucking not. Because they are the Christian faith. And we know that brings nothing but curse. See, once you come to the laws, you can see the lie sitting right there in your fucking face. And you can pull your fucking leg up and kick it right in its throat and say, sit. Be still. You are bullshit. Because their laws don't line up to it. Just like when JC said, I know you've been taught to an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. And back then, they literally got the eye. We can't do that in this land. Can't go against the law like that, but we go in the spiritual form and fight like a bitch. And we will wreck your fucking life and everything you love and own. Going through him. And we got clean hands. We got clean fucking hands. Do you see what I'm saying? How powerful it is? Even though you can't see what's going to go on out there, you will fucking see it. And he said, I'm going to make you a promise. You cut me loose on it. And you just stand right there and watch. That's all I want you to do. I just want you to fucking watch what I'll do for you. Cut me loose on that shit. Cut me loose on those strong men. I'm asking you to do it. Please, please ask Daddy to do it. And when you do it, he goes in there and wrecks it. He brings every haughty ass down. Then you know what he does? He does exactly like Psalms 18 and 91 says. He takes you in there when he's got them on their knees and nobody's standing for them anymore. Because you better believe he's got resources everywhere, ready to use as he pleases, because he is God. And there's no one beside him. And who of them can undo what he does? He's telling you which one of them can undo what I'm going to do to them. He let them do it to Daniel. It was a snare. It was a fowler's snare. And if you don't know what that is, let me explain that shit to you. Because it's also in their Bible over there in the New Testament. A fowler's snare is a net. And it's super fucking long. And they tie it from one tree to another tree across a huge field where these birds fly. They conspire against him. It's called mischief in Yahuwah's eyes. Wicked mischief. And when a bird flies through this net, it doesn't see it. And his wings get caught up in it. Your wings are caught, but they have not been clipped. You can still take flight, bruh. Even where you are right now. Because he said nothing's too hard for him. I don't know who I'm talking to, but listen to me. Listen to me. You trust him, and you do what I'm telling you to do, bruh. And you ain't going to be sitting there on that couch with your face in your hands. Do you see him? And you're not going to start your days on the side of that bed crying in your hands. Listen. He can fix whatever's going on in your life. All you have to do is listen to me. You belong to something so powerful, you don't need to be sitting there crying you're a fucking prince. Stand up, baby. Get up. I command you to get up because we need you. And let me tell you something. Suicide is never the answer. It is not the unforgivable sin because Yah knows it can get so bad outside of his laws without his covering that you just give up. But let me tell you something, honey. You got someplace to come. Just stand up and do what I'm telling you to do, and he will show up like never before, baby. He will show up. I promise you. I know him personally. And I have seen him take my enemies down by their necks. I have seen him fix every situation in my life. Listen. Listen. Trust me. This one time. Do what I'm telling you to say. Do what I'm telling you to do. And it'll all change. Let me tell you something. Whenever I did what I'm telling you to do, when he taught me how to do it, every little thing that came up, I ran to him with it. And in less than 24 hours, it was done. I woke up to it's finished, son. Or it's finished, daughter. Just be still. Hold on. Because it's not coming from me, it's coming from him. Because I can see you. And there are several, but I see one particularly that Yah is wanting to help. Please. Whoever you are, you know who it is, because Yahuwah said it's going to touch your spirit. You'll know it's me. He said, I got you. I got you. You don't have to fear any of them. Just ask me to help you. Those that call my name, I will help them. Call the Holy One of Israel. Holy One of Israel, Yahuwah, because that's everyone. That is what the 12 sons did. Yahudah would be the one to call him out in the field. Oh, Yahuwah! Send down your power. I need you. And they whipped 7 cities and everyone in them in one night. They never rested. They fought one city and went to the next. They had the power of 1,000 men, just like Shimshon, Samson. He can fix this for you. He said, is there anything too big for me? Is there anyone that you've experienced over there that you can compare to me? Try me, he said. Just try me. Invite me to squash it with my foot. And every strong man that's got a hold of it. And I will tell you when it's complete. So let's move on. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. You can change your life. And for those that in my community, the young Yahudah princes, they didn't know who they were. I just told them, I know who you are. Y'all said do this. They did exactly what I told them to do and crushed the judge. One of them was going to get 30 years for a dime bag of herb that Yahudah commanded that they use instead of prescription, which is pharmakia. It's witchcraft. Oh, come on. Everybody's awake to it now. I'm not telling you anything. He's going to give him 30 years. And he was a young cat. I saw him on Facebook, and y'all said, I didn't even know him. But he was a member of We Are Royals. And I went out of my way the whole day to find him. I said, look, I don't know what's going on, but y'all said that you are to do this, and I'm going to do it with you. Because they're going to put you away. And he said, how did you know that? And I said, y'all told me. You need him now. He said, man, my court hearing is in 2 days, and they're trying to put me away for 30 years. I said, oh, for fuck's sake, do what I'm telling you to do. And I petitioned with him. And he was let go. It works. He just wants you to cut him loose on it. While you move into righteousness, prosperity, and life like you've never seen it fucking before. Where you live a royal life and you don't have to wear their fucking Nike to say you're somebody, bitch. Get the fuck out of here. You can do that when you're rolling in a Royce. Or you're rolling in a fancy fucking car that's paid for because Yahudah gave it to you. Oh yeah, they bless him over there for that bullshit, but you won't believe what he gives us over here. This stuff is already yours, he said. I built this whole fucking world for you. Will you please just line up to the laws? And if you won't, at least teach them to your children, your princes. So that they can have a different life than what you have. For fuck's sake, will you at least do that? There is nothing over there, and as your sister, I'm telling you, you will not believe what you'll come into possession of over here. You will own them. It is unbelievable. Let me tell you a story. I'm going to give you some strength to stand up and be a prince. Because I've had to fulfill the role for many years. I had to be a father and a mother. I had to be both. So I got my first grandson, and y'all already told me he was coming. He was a prince. Like 15 years ago. And so he's 2 years old. He gets sick with the flu. And I know it's the flu. But to be safe, we call a hospital. And the nurse says, hit him with some more Motrin. Well, now we know today that Motrin and Tylenol will promote a seizure because the body runs too high of a temperature. But if you leave alone what Yah has created, the immune system will run a fever, but it will never go higher than what it's supposed to go. But it'll tear the shit out of a virus and kill it and never forget it. Because the immune system makes a file on that virus. And if a hint of it comes back in our bodies, it immediately destroys it before it has a chance to grow or spread. Yes, bitch has been studying. But I already have a medical background. So we did what she said. He had a fucking seizure. So we take him to the hospital. And this fucking doctor, this little punk ass doctor, wants to abuse our medical card that the insurance covers. In fact, they promote it. Yes, get online, look around. And so this doctor says, well, I'm going to have to run a series of tests on him that would have killed Prince. It's the flu. He wants to run a catheter and 2 other tests, a spinal tap, that could cripple him for life. And he's already sick. And I said, no, you're not going to do that. He said, excuse me? Yeah, I know the law. Don't play with me. You have a tiger by the tail, and it would be best to let go right now. He said, well, are you the parent? No, I'm not. I'm the elder of this tribe. And I have 379 members to We Are Royals. So I govern over many of them that trust me. And that is a prince. I said, he is a Hebrew Israelite. He is a prince from Yahudah, the tribe of Yahudah. We are not Christians. Not only that, he's firstborn male. He belongs to my God, Yah, the Holy One of Israel. You're not going to touch him. He said, well, I'm going to ask the parents. The parents are going to say exactly what I say. I pointed to Daddy. He re-spoke what I said. Mommy, she re-spoke, and she's a fucking tiger too. Now, he is aware of the law of patient rights. He's aware of the law that we cannot do what they do. We don't use their shit. And if he hadn't have been given Motrin like the nurse told us on the phone to do, he wouldn't have had the seizure. But it was completely natural. There's even no harm from it. Do you see what's going on here? We just panicked. But it's part of the training course to trust Yahudah and to stand over his and guard his laws. So this little prick, knowing the law that we are over this shit, and I have a medical background. We have professionals in our fucking life. My mother, who was white as snow, was the first woman paramedic in Madison County. You better believe she taught us. It just wasn't a profession that I wanted to go into. So I knew what this doctor was doing. He was abusing our cards. So he walks his little skinny ass out of there and comes back. And he says, look, I'm going to run these tests on this baby. I said, no, you're not. And I said, skedaddle, we're discussing something. Leave the room for a minute. Go on. So he walks out of the room pissed because, see, they think they're gods. They think they're gods, but they never save a life or cure anything. They just string it along because it's pharmakia. It's witchcraft. Do you understand? But people have made them gods that they have control over life and death, bitch. You are a simple little short man that I will fucking stomp over this child. I told him to leave the room. So he leaves the room. And while he was gone, we called our attorney. And we prayed to Yah. While he was out there, he was calling CPS. See, they try to scare you. But I'm more afraid of my God and my Father than I will ever be of your little skinny fucking ass. Do you understand me? And you're fucking with something that belongs to him. So they call CPS, 9 police officers from Anderson. The sheriff's department, that was 3 more. The deputy prosecutor, see, they know who I am. They didn't like me standing up to them, but y'all told me to do it, and I did it. With no fear. But I was sick as a dog, and it almost killed me. So they're all out there with the CPS worker. When she came in the room, I let it be known really clear that I and we are Hebrew Israelites. We don't do what you Christians do. It's against our laws. Do you understand? It ain't going to happen. And nobody's touching this baby. So she leaves the room. They take my son off. And they tell him that they've got 2 court orders from 2 different judges at 2 o'clock in the fucking morning. That we are to give this baby over to the doctor to do what he wants to do. Now, he's got the flu and he's wanting to do like 3 or 4 tests on him. That the pain of it and the stress, I know what they are, would have killed him. Bitch, you got me fucked up. I don't think so. You're not getting paid tonight. You better run it on somebody else. So with all those cops out there, we never moved. Never moved. This little short fucking doctor comes back in the room with a cop that was probably fucking 7 feet tall in my eyes. And I'm holding our baby. I'm holding Prince. He takes Fabian off and he's telling him, I walked right up on it in the right time that he's got 2 fucking, no you don't. because they would be illegal. And you are trespassing right now. You shouldn't even be here because you have no court orders. You know how I know? Because we said produce them and you couldn't put them in our hands. So the cop is standing there stuttering on himself. And all the other ones are just standing over there like they want to fucking kill us. We don't give a fuck. You can't touch us. We know who we belong to now. So I go back to the room and I'm holding Prince and the doctor comes back in. There's a cop standing behind me. I'll never forget what he looked like. And the doctor says, I'm going to run those tests on your child. We have 2 court orders. I said, no, you don't. Or you'd have them in your fucking hand. They would have brought them with them. He just looked at me. And I let him know I called my attorney. He said for me to give you the baby. And if you do anything to this child, this Prince, other than swab his nose and do a flu test on him and nothing else, that he will see you first thing Monday morning and he will nail you personally to your Christian cross. If you're not afraid of being sued, that's fine. Let's do it. He looked at me with a dead stare, got up, did not touch Prince, and left the room. And the officer stood there and had a chuckle to him, and he said, that's the smartest thing you could have done. And I was like in my soul, get the fuck out of here. You have no power, and you don't scare me. I immediately turned my head, got Fabian and Miranda, and I told Yah, Father, you have to have angels here, and this is a test. But just in case, if you don't do something, they are going to have to unload their fucking guns in our face and mouth before we let go of this baby. They're going to have to kill us, y'all. We will take them down before any of them touch this child. I promise you that. I need you now. 20 minutes later, that doctor never came back in there. Until 20 minutes later, the test came back, and he had the mere flu that they cannot cure, and they have nothing for it. And they knew exactly they had been busted out. I stood up to it. They weren't touching this Prince. And when I saw all that bullshit out in that hallway, it pissed me off, because they know what the law is. So to get even, the CPS worker that got no fucking wear, kids suffer flu all the time. They locked my daughter and my grandson down in a wing that no one uses, with a nurse and a sheriff on the fucking door. They took their freedom from them so that they could get a bill, a hospital bill, and get paid for it, because we wouldn't let them abuse our fucking medical card. And by the time it was over, there was a female sheriff there, and I talked to her, and I said, I was telling her we don't live like you guys do. I was telling her about who we are and what we do, and she was just smiling like she already knew. And I said, let me tell you something, you're not going to forget who I am. Someday, after this is over with, you'll remember me. I don't know why, but I'm just telling you. We just had a conversation. And then the CPS finally released my daughter and the baby. Like fucking a day later. Like over 12 hours later. Miranda hadn't had anything to eat. They never offered her anything either. They just kept pumping him with Motrin. But y'all took over. And by morning, Prince was up and playing and ready to go. He wanted to run these tests on him even though Prince was laying on the bed and his fever was coming down. He still wanted to run these tests on him. You better make a dime someplace else. I told him, you got a hold of a tiger's tail, baby. You better let go. Because that ain't over either. Because when I died, that's when it happened after that. It was too much, the sickness, and having to deal with that. You see, you got rights. Most of all, you got Yahudah. So like in the first books of the Torah, or your Bibles, in the Old Testament, It says these things are going to be revisited, and there's going to be justice. Why? Because you're in covenant with him. He can't let this shit just sit. He can't. Because it goes against his laws. He said he's going to destroy your enemy. He's going to destroy him, but he's going to do him his way, because vengeance is his, and he knows right where to hit these motherfuckers. But you have to be still. And let him work it out. And the best part about it is he brings people into your life that are going to do it for you. You just get to walk in with the spoils and walk out. Isn't that beautiful? That is fucking beautiful to me. We don't have to do anything but just sit and wait. Even if you have to pace, I'll be walking the floors praying. Kill him, y'all. Kill him. And let me tell you something else. These people could not wait to close the case because they realized what they had a hold of. They had a hold of a Most High God that loves his people. That have clean records, have never been in trouble, and have done community service in this fucking community since we've been here. I was born and raised here. Yahudah will crush your enemies. Now let me just tell you what happened. So I had this dream, and it was with the courts, and it was with the CPS worker over here, and then it tried to do it again. Nope. So I went to bed and I had this dream. For those in Anderson, let me just tell you what happened. We're not done with that, but let me just tell you about the dream I had. So they were chasing me and trying to get my disability check. Okay? I wasn't giving it up because I didn't do anything wrong. No. It's not going to work. Fear does not work with me. And you're not going to rob me either for a fucking wicked person that's a fucking felon right now. Class A. No. So I did everything I told you that I was going to do. And I went to bed and I had this dream that I was walking across this highway and there was an officer, it looked like a sheriff, standing there next to like this, you know those little ditches next to the road? Well, it was a ditch, but it was like full of water with beautiful grass and little plants in it. And everybody was looking at it. And I heard y'all say, go over there and look in there. Because this shit was killing me. So I walk over there and I look. And there's this huge yellow cat. And around him, all the way down the road in the water, was little, like different sized yellow cats. There were newborns, there were babies, there were some that almost grown, but none of them were as big or old as this big yellow cat that was laying on its side in the water and kept lifting up his face out of the water and taking a breath and then laying his face back down, but he couldn't get up. Well, immediately, because I love animals, I rushed over to get him, and y'all said, don't touch him. Don't save him. So I stood back up and I looked at it, and they were all dead. They had drowned it. And there was like this beautiful crystal clear water. I mean, it was beautiful to be in the side ditch. And I went back down. He said, go back down. And so I went back down and I looked at the big old one, and his face was underwater. His eyes were open. His mouth was open, and he had drowned it. And I heard y'all say, let him be. I'll take care of this. I was like, well, they're dead. I don't understand. He said the issue is dead right now. And then I was, out of the blue, I was at the house with my family. We were all getting dressed up and we were going to a celebration. And I heard y'all say, I want you to celebrate because the victory is yours right now. And I woke up. And I'm going to tell you something. I never heard from him again. When he said they will come at you in one direction as a group trying to bully you, he said, I'm going to make them fucking run in 7 different directions to get away from you and everything that you own and each other. I know who was in that water. And then when the CPS tried to get in here and try to scare us, no, fuck that shit, because I had the same fucking dream. And the very next day we got a letter. No, it was on one of the feast days. And there was a letter that came in the mail like 2 days after I had the dream. And I was telling my family, we went to the table with Psalm 91:18 too, because we didn't have evidence that it was over. But that dream was Yah telling me it's over. Because 2 days later, I got a letter in the mail saying, and whatever happened, it was like skittish writing, like she was so fucking scared she didn't know what to do. She didn't even get my name right. She got my last name all fucking wrong. We never heard from him again. I said this issue is not done, but it's sleeping right now. We're going to revisit it when you're healthy. Because see, the health is mine. And I promise you, you're going to know about it. I'm going to keep you abreast because you need to see evidence. I know that. But if you do what I'm telling you to do, you'll see evidence in your own situation right fucking now before you see him do mine. If you just trust and believe in him and him alone, you will get some evidence from it. But you got to cut that shit completely out because he's going to destroy it. He's going to destroy it. Because it's going to take a lot of our people with it. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? You fight Hebrew style, warrior style. He sets them up. And then he brings you in. But he does it on his time. And see, I'm not in that place over there anymore. I'm not over there anymore, so I'm coming with great power. You better fucking know it. What power? It's Yahudah and my obedience to him and to the laws that promise that power that you can only get with the covenant. I'm speaking to each and every one of you princes of Yahudah. Listen, what do you got to lose? What do you have to lose? If you sit over there and just trust that everything's going to be okay with Jesus, it's not. And you're going to see that because you already know it. It's never been okay. It's just gotten worse and worse and worse. It's like a Band-Aid put on it. But it was his mercy to carry you through. It was Yahuwah's. Don't mistake that because he's the one that saved everything you're going through. So he has control over it. But it's your obedience he needs to change it. Isn't that so simple? Shit, that's the simplest thing to understand. Isn't it? Your whole freaking life can change. There's not one thing we ask him for now that he doesn't give us. I'm going to tell you some shit that's going to make you cry at how good he is. And he said, in these days, I'm going to comfort my own. You're being comforted from some bullshit that will never work. It will never comfort you. But over here, you can go through some shit and just act like you're celebrating. You're not sitting around going, what the fuck's going to happen? No, fuck you. You know how it's going to go, boo-boo. You know how it's going to go. As for myself, I'm speaking for myself because I've seen it. He's even fucking killed people over me that misused me and abused me when I was over there. And I would go to him and say, oh, just bless him. But on the inside, it was killing me to say it. And then I got over here and learned what I could ask. He adores us. And he says he sees no fault in us when we come back over here because he don't even remember that shit anymore. You are completely blameless when you come home. And so you can stay over there and, well, just hope and pray to Jesus, an idol that can't even fucking move and does not belong to the Holy One of Israel in any sense. And just, shit, I don't know. Wish in one hand, shit in the others. Find out which one comes to pass first. Because that's what you're dealing with over there. There's no power. That's why none of them have gifts. They have to pay someone to say they're healed. And that's why they have to throw your ass to the floor to put a fucking demon in you. So did you feel that? Well, I think I hurt my back, but that's about all. I don't feel any different. You know I'm telling you the truth. You know I'm telling you the truth. Because there's no power over there. Because it doesn't belong to the kingdom, nor does it belong to the laws, nor does it belong to the covenant, nor does it belong to the Most High, the Holy One of Israel, Yah. So it doesn't belong to us. So you can't keep it. This is where the power's at. And he said in Psalms that the more you follow my laws, the more power I'm going to give you. The more land I'm going to give you. You follow his Sabbaths, and I'll show you how to do it. Walk away from theirs, because that's where they're going to get them at when they start rounding them up. Because they belong to it. Obey his Sabbaths. He said, I'll write your name on my temple walls. And I'll call you something much greater than sons and daughters, and I'll never let your name be wiped from the face of this earth. You'll rule in my kingdom. I can't imagine being called something much better than a daughter. I just cannot see it. Much more a son. Some of you out there that are firstborn, did you know that you get a double portion? Because you're firstborn. Off tops, you belong to Yahudah. Did you know that? Did you know you were that precious? You get a double portion of the inheritance. And that's what's coming. It's the end of an age. It's the end of Esau. The beginning of the world will be Esau. But the ending will be Jacob. Israel. We're going to rule this shit. You've been hoodwinked, baby. And I proved it to you. And gave you every place you can go and look for it yourself. And I'll put all these scriptures in the link. When I come to fucking court, I come to fucking court. He's trained me well. And even when I was resting and trying to get better, I still studied. I've been in classrooms for these laws, both sets. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I know what the rights are. And I know where to run if a strong man wants to get strong. It's the most amazing stuff I've ever seen in my fucking life. And my life has just begun. When I found out that we weren't allowed to depend on the government for anything, I gave back a 7-year disability check. I cut that shit off. I discontinued it to line up with him because I didn't need anybody but him. I don't have a need or a want in this world. He said, I'm going to set you up with so much wealth. And I was prophesied to all through my life. He's going to give you great wealth because he loves you so much. You have a radical ministry coming. And it's taking place. He said, I bless you. No one else. All I do is obey. And because I'm daddy's little girl, I love seeing a smile on his face. I ask him every day, am I doing okay, Yah? Am I doing okay, Father? If there's anything I need to change, take away what's in me or around me that breaks your heart. And then add to me inside and outside what gives you pure joy. I love you that much. I don't have a want for anything, and I could ask him for anything, and he would give it to me. I'm so content. I've never been this content in my life. And he's healed me. I told you I'm exercising again. I feel like I'm freaking 20 years old again. And that's what he said he would do. I'll take all that shit away. And I'll give you what I gave you. What you were fighting to get over there. It already fucking belongs to you. You're princes. And I'm going to make you a promise right now as your elder, as your sister. There's not one thing in your life right now that you can pull up that's too big for y'all to fix in 24 hours. Nothing. There's nothing. He can do it all. And through that, change your job to another job where you're prospering. Because if you're royalty and you're in the covenant, he wants you to look like it. So he has to prosper you. It's the law. And you're representing him. You get it? But you can't bring that bullshit with you. You have to cut it off. And enter a new season of your life that you will never want to go back over there to. Sickness and death can't come this way. Because there's no curse that legally allows it. This is beauty. And you get to walk through this life as princes. And when you're here, anybody disrespects you, you can always go to Yah. He'll take care of it. But when you go there, if it's a heathen, you can ask for them to be a servant in your household when this is over with. You can ask him for anything. Ask Solomon. And he'll give it to you. Because he said, I own it all. Every fucking bit of it belongs to me, he said. They don't run shit. And neither do their demons. Because when you come over here, there ain't no demons. There is no poverty. There's nothing like that. Because you don't belong to it anymore. You belong to Yahudah. As I close this, I want to put something on your heart, bros. Listen. As you sit there and your heart is beating blood, the life source through your body, I want you to think about one thing. For the rest of this night, what you don't know is that there is no bloodline above yours. Your blood, 12 tribes' blood, trumps it all. Did you know that? I'm going to enter a song into, and I play it for my grandbabies all the time, especially my princes, because I don't want them to forget who they are. I'm going to put it in the link. And it's called Superheroes. And it's by a brother. I don't know if he's awoke yet or anything, but this song doesn't say the name JC, and it just tells you who you are. And you would bless me so much if you would go and listen to the song, because it's going to be from Yahudah. It will touch your soul when you see the brothers in it and who you can be. And I'll put it in the link. And it's my song, your sister's song to you. Because I love you so much. I've done so many things in my community. Let me tell you about this. I'm going to let you go. So I was volunteering at the boys club. And I told you I interacted with all the children in my neighborhood. My kids' friends. I picked my kids' friends till they were 16, 17 years old. I didn't play that shit. So none of the adults wanted to volunteer for the boys club for their basketball team. So I volunteered to do it. I didn't know anything about the damn game. Nothing. But you put the ball in the hole. That's all I knew. And so when they said, well, you guys can't have a team, I said, wait a minute, I'll do it. Can I do it? Pick me. And they said, Cheyenne, you want to be a coach? Yes, I want to be a coach. I really do. I really want to be a coach. So they gave it to me. So we had our first game. And all the kids, we're all excited and everything. And so I told them, let me just tell you the story. I told them, now look, I thought it was like football or wrestling. My kids were small, so they were just getting into the sport, so I didn't know that much about it. So I said, you go out there. If you can snatch that freaking ball and trip somebody, do it gently. But go out there, pull the ball down, trick them, and take off and put it in the basket. I'm going to have the rest of the kids watch over you so that you can just do this. And he's looking at me real silly, but I thought he was just scared. I thought he was a beginner. So he went out there and did it, and the whistle blew. Coach comes over and he says, man, he said, do you know that you're telling your kids to go out there and freaking foul? And I said, well, I wasn't really sure what a foul was. I really took this job just to, be there for him. I'm going to work this out. Let's not argue in front of the kids, okay? And I'm a very attractive woman. He was attracted to me. He agreed, hey, sounds good to me. And I said, I'm going to try to do better. So I went over to the kids, and he patted me on my shoulder and took that as encouragement. So I went over to the kids, and I said, listen. I said, do any of you guys know how to play basketball for reals? Both my kids were on the team, and he said, I know a little bit about it. He said, but I'm pretty sure what you're doing is fouling. And I said, well, what is that? Is that we're going to get in trouble for that? We're going to get big trouble? And he said, well, we'll probably get forfeited, and everybody's going to talk about us. I said, so you're probably going to be bullied then, right? Okay, listen, this is what we're going to do. Until I learn what this game is, don't do nothing that I tell you to do that's like wrestling or football, okay? Just go out there. If you know how to play the game, play the game. And I'm going to learn how this is going to work out. But listen, win or lose, I got a bag of candy for every one of you. I love you, you're winners. It doesn't matter about this game. I just want you to have fun. I don't want to get in trouble for it. So I just want you to have fun and do what you know is right until Miss Cheyenne finds out what the rules are in this game. But I got candy in the car, so if you win or lose, I got you. They went out there and won the game. They won the game. Because y'all saw what I was doing. I just wanted to teach these little princes who they were, and somebody loved them. We won the freaking game. Now, we didn't get nowhere close to championship because some of the stuff was hard for me to understand, but we were at every game, and I had a bag of fucking candy. And I had a hug and a kiss for every kid to tell me you did a fucking good job. I knew there was something so special about you. Our tribe is beautiful. The other tribe I belong to is Gad. We are like lions to the battlefield, so all of it makes sense now. He can change everything in your life. He's just trying to get your attention to come home. Because you're going to rule. You're going to rule over them. You're going to rule over them. And it is written. And in the Old Testament, Yahudah asked the question. He says, who are you to be afraid of dead men walking? They're not going to survive past what I bring. But if you involve me, I'll curse them the whole time they're here. They'll wish they were dead, and they will fear you like fire fears water. Father, I just want to tell you thank you for everything that you do. Lead these princes to their crowns, Yah. Because I know they're precious to you. I adore you with all my heart, Yahudah. And I praise your name for what you're about to do. I adore you. In your name, Yahudah. Hallelujah. Yahoo. Yahoo. Yahudah. And to the princes of Yahudah. You catch me in my next video. Because we're going to make a change in this city. We're not going to lay down for this anymore. I know the way to him. Grab my hand, and I will take you to him. I adore you. I love you, family, and we have wonderful things coming. But you've got to stand up and be heard. And Yahudah will make the strong man get on those knees where he belongs. Be blessed. You're always in my prayers and my petitions. And I will see you in the next video. Shalom.
I'm coming home.